I DIY'd this antique style frame to fit this beautiful canvas artwork that my husband's grandfather painted. It was easier than you'd think, so here's everything you need to make a frame for your own canvas. First is some ornate molding that will be the front of your frame. Because our canvas is pretty big, we use molding that is commonly used for dado rails, but pick something out that has a width you'd think looks best with the size of your canvas. Second, you'll need stripwood that matches the depth of your canvas and is a little thinner than the width of your molding pieces for the front of your frame. This is so the molding pieces go on top of your canvas by just a little bit, so it's a seamless finish. Remember that whatever the difference in width between your stripwood and molding pieces will be how much of your canvas is covered by the molding. You'll also need a miter saw or a miter box and handsaw for cutting your wood. To put it together, you'll need wood glue, a band strap clamp, wood filler for any gaps, 4 flat plate L-shaped corner brackets, and screws. So start by measuring your canvas. We're cutting our frame edges at 45-degree angles, so measure your strip wood to the size of your canvas. These measurements will be the inside edge of the frame. Then cut it at 45 degrees, making sure the inside edge that you measured is the shorter side when you cut your angle. When we finish cutting all 4 sides of our frame, we cut the leftover into smaller pieces, which we'll be using to add thickness to our frame without adding too much weight, since our molding is a little bit wider than 2 pieces of the strip wood side by side. If your strip wood is already just a little smaller than your molding, you won't need to do this, but this is the best option we found at the store. Then you'll want to measure the outside edge of the pieces of your frame. This will be the same measurements you'll use for the outside edge of your molding pieces. Cut your molding pieces at 45 degrees, making sure the outside edge that you measured is the longer one. Once those are cut, it's time to put everything together. We used wood glue on all the corners of the stripwood pieces, then clamped them together using a band strap clamp to make sure it was as secure as possible. The stripwood pieces will be holding the weight of the picture, so we're also adding some corner brackets to make sure it can hold everything securely. We also added the additional scrap pieces we cut earlier, since we need the extra width to get closer to the width of our molding pieces. All that's left is to glue the molding pieces to the frame and add some clamps or weight to it while it dries. If there are any gaps you want to cover, just use some wood filler and sand it down when dry. So the frame is built, now we want to give it an antique finish. Basically, I painted the frame black and did a light coat of the spray paint. We may go over this with rub and buff someday, but we're happy with it for now. We let that dry, put our canvas in, and here she is hung up on the wall. Super happy with how this turned out. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more DIY projects and to see how we've transformed our first home here in the UK.